Another update to Ohio's medical marijuana launch. We now know it will not be available on September 8th as planned by lawmakers. There have been many delays throughout the process. Brandon Simmons is here tonight to help us understand all the holdups. Hi, Brandon.
Yeah, the wait continues, Sarah. The problem right now lies in a couple key areas. Most cultivators haven't even planted yet, and we still know that the processors haven't been chosen by the state. Here's a breakdown of the key groups involved and what's going on. As Ohio Congressman Tim Ryan pushes to make marijuana legal nationwide, his home state is slow to get its own program off the ground. There are 6 key groups involved in the medical marijuana program here in Ohio: cultivators, test labs, processors, dispensaries, physicians, and of course patients. Most of these groups are in place and just waiting for the switch to be flipped. Provisional licenses for cultivators have been issued, and many are just waiting for site inspections and approval to start growing. One facility in Ravenna already got its certification. As for processors, the state hasn't approved any yet, although they have more than 100 applications on hand. Processors turn the marijuana plants into usable goods, and these processors are expected to be chosen in the next few weeks. 2 testing labs have been approved and are ready to go, one at Central State University and the other at Hocking Technical College. So far, 185 doctors have obtained a certificate to recommend endorsement from the state, and even though there are dozens of dispensaries with provisional licenses already in hand, there's no product to sell, and that means thousands of patients are left waiting. Senator Rob Portman supports medicinal use, but says he hopes the program doesn't send the wrong message.
We have to be careful, I think, not to have an attitude that's permissive with regard to drug use, because it's causing so much damage.
Even if processors are finally approved, it's going to take newly licensed cultivators 3 to 4 months to grow the plants, meaning the earliest possible date is sometime in October, but I think that's pushing it. Now, that system for patient registration is ready to go, but they haven't flipped the switch on just yet. They're not going to do that and make it available until the public until 60 days before they know that marijuana is actually available for purchase, and we're just not there yet, Sarah.
It seems the missing link is those processors, rather, the businesses that are responsible for taking the plant and turning it into usable items. How quickly could they be ready after the state approves them?
Well, it could be pretty quick because a lot of those cultivators are also applicants to be processors as well. So as soon as they can get that process rolling, start growing, they'll also be able to process. But right now, it's that 3 to 4 months to actually grow the marijuana, Sarah.
All right. We will see what happens. Brandon Simmons, thank you.